Hello there. Welcome to Monterey's Cooking. I'm Cookin Pisto, and I bet you're wondering what this is. Well, this looks like maybe the stalks of some old artichoke plants. Nope, you're wrong. This is called Cardone. I don't know the other names, but it is part of the artichoke family. You know, I love to get these unusual items and do stuff with, because you know, you see these things in the supermarket and you say, what the heck is that? These are worth trying. These come from the old country, and you know, they've been brought here. They're sold in ethnic restaurants. This is grown in Salinas Valley. You don't see it very often. The Italians use this and the French use it. Very different, has the taste of artichokes. You know how artichokes, when you taste artichoke and then maybe you'll drink a wine or you'll drink water, or anything you taste after eating artichoke will taste better. Okay, that has a very unusual property. In fact, they say when you're tasting very important wines, old wines, that you never should serve an artichoke dish, because it will mar your judgment a bit. But this is a nice vegetable. We did our shopping at Star Market the other day, and they had it. You don't see this often, like I said, but they had just brought it in. I said, boy, I've got to try some dishes with this. I think people would be interested in seeing it. It has a beautiful silver color to it. Look at the big leaves, and it is very dirty. So it should be washed very well. I remember in Italy, we had a beautiful soup made with this, and I thought I would try to duplicate it today. And I was going to show you a couple dishes with this, and I think it's worth it, being that it's so unusual, and it is very delicious. Now, when you buy this, look for the ones that are very tight, very fresh looking. See how nice and fresh that looks? Okay, these are a little on the bitter side, so I cut those off. But the way I handle these is we're going to cut, and I'll cut like this, and we want to cut these off because, like I said, this is a little bit bitter. Okay. All right. That's a little frazzled. That's the only reason I'm doing that. Can't have a frazzled edge, folks. Okay, that's the end. You see, you can hear. You hear how crunchy these are? And when these are fried, we're going to deep fry them also, that it retains that crunch. Because this is such a real delicate flavor, I'm going to team it up with another classic Italian vegetable, sweet anise. All right, you see these in the markets. If you've never tried this before, please try it, because this is so refreshing. I mean, it has that licorice flavor to it. We love to eat it raw. My kids, we put it. I'll bring this home from the market, chop it up, wash it, chop it up. I mean, we just eat it like celery. I mean, it's just so refreshing, real juicy, and you can do a lot of things with it by cooking it too, which I'm going to do probably in another show. But let's talk about the Cardone. Now, this has some very tough fibrous leaves, or fibers, I guess. See, just peel like you would celery. And we take those right out of there. Okay. Now you should take these out, otherwise it's becomes a little bit too chewy. Okay. Now I've got the heat going. I'm going to add a little bit of onion, and you see how I'm cutting this? Like this, and we want to bring out a little of the flavor of the onion, like this. I tell you, we had this soup in Florence, and it was so good that I've always remembered. I said, next time I see Cardone, I'm going to make a Cardone soup. See how I did the garlic? Okay, let's give it a little oil. And this is real fast too. You're hungry, you come home, you need a nice bowl of soup, something different, not the old run-of-the-mill type of soup. Oop. Now, this, let me show you this. Now, this is one of the outer stalks, you see? This has gotten too, I think the word is pithy. It's gotten very hollow. You know, like celery when it's old? You don't want to use those. Just disregard them. All right. Push that off to the side. It's pretty easy. This is so different that your guests will be amazed. Now, you know, I've never tried eating these raw. That tastes a lot like celery. I know I've seen these in France somewhere where they used them in the dips. You know, they have those big trays with the raw vegetables. I could see using this. That's a little bit too much there. Okay, you know, by frying or sauteing your vegetables a little bit, it brings out some flavor. Okay, let's put some of that. A little bit more. Okay. Nowadays, don't throw this away. There's always a use for this, for garnishing, for flavoring. So don't throw that away. Okay, we cut like that. And I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut this like this. See this heart? Let's pull that out. Cut out that heart, folks. Okay. Boy, I can tell you one thing. It's certainly got some color to it. Now, you know, both of these flavors are very, very subtle. So this is aniseed. Okay? Let's give it a little bit of aniseed. Okay, let me have my spoon. Up right here. And we need a little bit of the crushed red pepper. And let's give it some of this. Some black pepper. And I'm using Italiano sea salt. I saw recently people are making a big deal about sea salt and the types of salt you use. I think we're going to have to do a salt tasting on the air one day and see if there really is a difference. I know there is. Sea salt is quite a bit different than your regular salt. It has a better flavor to it. It really does. Okay, we just want this to saute to soften. That's a little hot. Okay, this is some very nice chicken stock that I made. Look how pretty this looks already. Okay, folks, now you gotta let these come to a boil. We gotta soften the vegetables, give them a few minutes, and we'll be right back. Okay, as the soup cooks, now we just want those vegetables to be a little on the soft side. And what I'm gonna do, which you know they do this a lot in Europe, and I think we ought to do that a lot here too. I like it. I'm gonna poach an egg and we're gonna lay that right in the soup. Very nice idea. Okay. Soup's ready. Okay. And then, remember I said to save these. What we're going to do is is actually make it a flavoring. Okay. Now, you remember we've talked about doing a lot of tasting of olive oils for soups and stuff. This is one of the perfect examples of doing that. Because in this soup, we want to taste good extra virgin olive oil. Now we're just going to poach this egg real quick. You see how fast this cooks? Now, if this was in the restaurant, you know what we do? We cook a bunch of these up ahead of time. We keep them in cold water, so when we need them, we just, boom, we flash them in hot water and use them again. It's very safe. Been doing it for a long time. Okay, eggs cooked. Goes right there. Now we get our extra virgin olive oil. Look at that. You float that. You give it some pepper. And folks, you got yourself one very different and unusual soup. And when you eat this, you break the egg and the egg goes into it. Very, very, very good. For the next dish, I've got some cardone being boiled in salted water. And what we're going to do is do, you know, the classic fritto misto. You know, the Italians love to get vegetables and fry them in olive oil. And, you know, we put them in a batter, or either batter or in breadcrumbs. And, you know, that's served as a course, as an appetizer. I've had this before, and this was delicious. But you got to start with the cardone. You got to boil it first, okay? And you can tell when this is cooked because it gets salt. And it's only going to take a few minutes. We'll give this a couple minutes, and then when we come back, I'll show you how to bread it, and then we're going to fry it. Okay, so we see the cardone is nice. It's cooked. See, nice, very nice. And I thought while we were here, I was out shopping, and my buddy Henry at Star Market in Salinas said, "John, try this." I said, "I was going to do a fritto misto, which is a mixed deep fried dish." He says, "This is what the Japanese use in their tempura." Well, I always thought this was what was used was a sweet potato, but it is. It's a squash. Okay, so we've peeled that up, and I'm not going to parboil it. I'm just going to cut it rather thin so that it'll cook. Right now it's rather hard, but we want some crunch to it. And then I found this mushroom laying around outside the other day, so I thought we'd use this. This is a wild mushroom. This looks like a portobello because it is the same family. Look how beautiful that is. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, food is beautiful, folks, and this is a testimony to it. When you see one of these in the forest, I mean, the feeling that comes from within is, I tell you, it's just a religious experience. People that hunt mushrooms know what I'm talking about. The other people think I'm probably crazy. Okay, so let's cut these in nice chunks. Look at that. These can be thick. I mean, look at this, like meat. Look at that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we go flour. Now your oil should be about 350. And how do I know it's 350? Because when it's smoking like that, it's probably about 375. We're going to let it cool. But once the stuff goes in there, it's going to cool off. Okay, so real easy. We roll it in the flour, the beaten egg with a little water in it. Check your temperature. Use a gauge on your oil, because if it's too hot, it's going to brown too quickly, and your vegetable's not going to be cooked all the way through. The secret is we're going to put it all in there. This is pretty hot. We're putting the squash in now too. And this will take a few minutes. See? Boy, look how meaty these mushrooms are. My gosh. So, roll it around good. Now you use one hand for the wet, the other hand for the dry. That's the method. See, very easy. Golden brown. Look at that. Perfect. Yeah, let's drop these mushrooms in there. Look at that. My gosh. These are nice. Look at this, how beautiful. Well, let's give these squash a little bit extra because they are very, very dense. Another tip, make sure you wipe your hands very, very dry, because if you're going to get the water next to that oil, they'll do all kinds of sputtering. Okay, see how nice that is? Perfect. Look at this. All right. Okay. I tell you, very nice way to start a dinner. A little light appetizer, a little bit of work. I'd reserve this for a special dinner, or eat it in a restaurant that has it. If this is done well, there is absolutely no grease involved, because with all this coating, you know, it seals it in and it ends up steaming. You know, this is a real art. Deep frying is an art. It really is, because if it's too cold, it absorbs. The food will absorb the oil. If it's too hot, you burn it. It's got to be just right. It seals it. It steams it from within. There's a real art to it. So use a thermometer. Okay, this is done. You can tell sometimes too when things are cooked when you're deep frying, because they'll come to the service and they won't be cooking anymore. And that's what the squash did. Yeah, everybody likes fried chicken, right? Absolutely. Everybody loves fried chicken. Okay, serve this. Makes a great first course. A good lunch and nice white wine with this, boy. I'll tell you. Let's see, let me get this out of the way. Okay, see how this is slowing up? See, that's telling me that's cooked through. Sit there. Okay. See, now here's the stock. Could use that for something else. Could deep fry that also. It'd be delicious. Okay, let's put this dish together. Now, you know, another way I would serve this would be with some, with a nice, fresh, light tomato sauce. It would be delicious. Okay, the mushrooms over here. The Cardone here. Fresh tomato sauce would be very, very good. But you know, there's the old classic Italian, the Italian way. You know, they have so much lemons in Italy, they use them. They know how to use them. But this, you know, fried food with lemon, it's just delicious. Look, serve it just like that. You know, even, you know, the finocchio would even be good in here. You know, serve it with a little garnish. You got yourself a delicious, delicious first course. So here you are, folks. We got the Cardone with the soup, and we got the fried Cardone. I hope you enjoyed this one. It is delicious.